Alright, so I'm just gonna blank this thing off here, take out the cartridge, and so let's go about this same way as that back door. Pry this cover off. This cover down here. Right. Sweet. Okay, and then same thing, we got these two fasteners down here. So take these two off, and then this guy. All right, I was hoping we could get away with just the fasteners in the middle, but there's also, is there a fastener here? Yeah, there's a fastener here, so let's take this guy off. All right, so now that we got this panel off, there's these two connectors, the gray one and the black one, and the gray one, there's a little trigger here. Push that in, pull it out. This guy, there's a trigger down here, so you push down and then it actually slides down. So I push down, of course, on this and then slid it down. And then there's this cable for the actual latch. It's pretty hard to see, so I'm just gonna cut this zip tie here, hold the door panel up. Pulling down on the bottom, pulling up on the top. Alright, and just remove this little plastic cover. Okay, we got a fastener head here. And we got the one nut on the right side. I think that's it. We'll see. Okay, so there's actually a stud on the top with a nut up here. So this is the nut we removed, and dry tape off is it. All right, so we got our one fastener from over here out, and the two nuts on the back, and then you just pull from the stud side, and then kind of slide out. And what I'm gonna do is remove this link, I think, or maybe just disconnect it and take out the cartridge. We'll see, I'll get back to you. Well, looks like Ford had an intern on this part, because I'm pretty sure this tiny little piece of plastic, which is what keeps, this is working great. There's a key here where I'm pointing, but it's not focusing. So that key, that tiny little key, was stopped by this little piece of plastic, I think, right under there. So what they do, I assume, is they pull this out. So right here, it's actually not flush. I'm not really sure how this is normally, what the exposure is. It's definitely set in, because it needs to lock on. There's these little finger clips here, that guy and that guy. And it's rotated so that they lock on. Either way, that intern really done goofed. So I would just remove this whole thing. It's all plastic. So I can't get this little hook out. I think you'd have to remove this whole assembly. So what I did is, I think this is acceptable. I just clipped it right in here, and it still allows you, I'm just gonna use the manual lock from inside, to go up and down here. Nice little view. Come on. So you do need to make sure it can move up and down. Okay, so I measured the ID of the plastic piece, and it's about 1.2 inches. So we need to cut a piece of plastic. That's kind of my plan. And I'm gonna epoxy it in. So this is a 1 1/4 hole saw from Craftsman, and it's got a 1.11 inch ID. And so what we're gonna do is put the arbor in here, the pilot, and then drill out a piece of scrap wood, and then we'll stack this scrap wood with the plastic, take the arbor or the pilot out, and then we'll just drill through and we'll get a full blank. All right, we got the hole in the wood, so now we're gonna remove the pilot, drill bit with this little set screw, little Allen head here. All right, so we loosened the little set screw and the pilot came right out. So now we're just gonna clamp the plastic to the wood and drill through the plastic. All right, so I got some, I don't know what, 1/8 inch Kydex. It's like a thermal setting plastic, but use whatever you got lying around. And then I'm just gonna drill right through here. It's not gonna be perfect, but that's okay. Okay. There we go. Should fit in. All right, so I didn't trim it. It's got some flat, like flashing almost, just because the hole was not perfect by any means. But it drops in, so you can see there's a bit of like an 1/8 inch lip that this guy sits on within whatever this, I think it's intended to be like a shear feature that clearly didn't hold up. I had to tear some of it off over here because it was broken from the low life we got in the truck. Okay, so this fits in pretty good. Fits in there, it's hard to see. And then the idea is epoxy it, and then I'll caulk this side with like a white silicone caulk, and won't have to worry about this anymore. I got some of this plastic bonder from JB Weld, and I'm just gonna use a Q-tip to clean the white surface with IPA, and then probably put this on the white surface, that lip, and then push down the black piece, and then wipe off whatever seeps through on the out with the exposed side. All right, so I'm actually just gonna leave this fillet of epoxy here. Looks like it's less than flush, and I think it's viscous enough not to be dripping out. So we'll let it dry, and then I'm gonna put this thing right together in like 10 minutes probably.